We'll definitely get a post game though.
Yeah, yeah. Greetings and salutations, sports fans. It's Todd Edwards coming to you live this Saturday afternoon. A little matinee basketball with my broadcast partner, Dude Jones. It's Todd Edwards. We thank you for tuning in. We hope you're watching from the comfort of your own home and it's warm and maybe in front of a fireplace with some bottled water, hot chocolate or coffee, and get ready for a big matchup today between the undefeated Columbia Crimson Tide taking on Executive Education Charter. Dude, it should be a good one tonight.
Should be a really good game. Executive Education out of Allentown, a charter school, has some big-time names on their roster. But Columbia High School, they're hosting the game tonight. They're playing at home, undefeated. Having a really good season so far, and also ranked number 1 in their class, 4A, I believe. Yeah, in the state of Pennsylvania.
Columbia out of the Lancaster-Lebanon League come in with a 16-0 record. Yeah, 16-0, taking on a 7-4 executive education team led by 2 D1 commits. They have Colby Mcgee going to Drexel and Jeremiah Bembry. Now, Bembry will not play tonight. I talked to the assistant coach pregame, and he's injured. He did not make the trip down here to Columbia.
And a team like Executive Education, they always have the next man up type of mentality, as well as Columbia. So expect to see some more players get some playing time tonight and really fill that role without that star player being in the lineup.
See, I mean, just standing here courtside, we see some of the players in the hype from Executive Academy. They're no joke here, and they're going to provide some real competition for the undefeated Columbia Crimson Tide.
And also for Columbia High School, you have Kerry Glover Jr., 1,000-point scorer and also All-American nominee this year. So keep an eye on him. He's going to have a lot of points. He's a fuel that really runs this engine for the Columbia High School basketball team.
Yeah, and head coach Kevin Glover, happy to have us here at this venerable gym. You know, it's an old school style gym here, dude.
Yes.
Reminiscent of maybe the Hoosiers movie. How about it?
Even the colors represent the Hoosier look. But this is a small gym, very intimate, and that's going to play to the advantage of Columbia High School. They have a lot of their fans here tonight. They like to pack the crowd as you see them still coming in here. But a team like Executive Education, they travel, they know about playing in hostile environments, so it should be really good. From the onset, you see the height advantage that Executive Education has. But Columbia High School is a very well-coached team, and I'm pretty sure Coach Glover has a game plan to counter what Executive Education is going to do.
Well, you mentioned Columbia. They come in with a 1,000-point scorer, Kerry Glover. Also, other players to keep an eye on for Columbia, Robert Footman. We remember Robert Footman as a football player here at Columbia.
Robert Footman made All-State for the football team for Columbia High School at quarterback. Recovered 2 years ago, had a very bad leg injury. I believe he broke his leg. So he was off for a couple years, well, about a year. Came back stronger than ever. He's having a great senior season for the Columbia High School team.
Well, and Robert Footman, I'm being told, picking up some Division II offers to play football at Shippensburg and Millersville. Another player to keep an eye on, Juan Colazo. He comes in averaging 13 points per game.
Yeah, Juan Colazo's averaging double digits. He's that third-headed monster on his Columbia team, and you should see a lot of him tonight. They're a scrappy team. I know Coach Glover teaches them to play very aggressive, so you should see them be physical tonight. Sometimes you play against a bigger team, you got to be physical with them. Let them know you're not a runt. You're coming here to play basketball. And I really appreciate Coach Glover putting a team like this on his schedule at this time of year, because you want to get your team ready for the playoffs and also for the district.
And a credit to Columbia, they're not scheduling a cupcake here. I mean, this is one of the top premier prep schools in Pennsylvania, and they're here at Columbia, and you're tuned in watching it at home.
Absolutely. We got about 5 minutes to tip off, so we're going to go ahead and go back into the booth and get ready. You guys tune in. If you're watching this game, go to our share the feed, go to our live chat on YouTube. Go to our live chat on YouTube. Engage with the fans and, with the rest of the people that's watching the game.
And let's give a shout out real quick to our sponsors tonight because they're very important to our program.
Absolutely.
Along with the student athletes and fans. Our sponsors tonight include Integrity First Home Buyers, S3 Performance Training, Prestige Motor Cars of York, Parma Pizza of Dallastown, and Dean's Auto Plaza, all sponsors for today's afternoon game. You may have to get used to saying an afternoon matinee game.
I want to tell the fans this game was called off in the morning, then they called the game back on about an hour later. So, we're here. Both teams are here. They're ready to play. This is going to be a great Saturday afternoon matchup between both ball clubs. And, we're really excited to, see what's going on.
Settle in with your coffee this afternoon. It's chilly, but it's going to get heated up here in Columbia as we settle in. As Sports Shooting Stars brings the game to you this
Remember,
afternoon.
our sponsorship info is located at our lower third of our screen, so you'll see their contact information, a lot about them on the lower screen. But we're going to go to the booth. We got about 4 minutes to tip off.
Let's do it, dude. We made it back to the broadcast booth, fans. Thank you for standing with us. RB's going to be helping out here on the visual side of things.
Yes, sir.
Looking forward to this matchup. You mentioned earlier in the pregame It was on, it was off, and we're back on, and I'm glad it's on. It's a big test for Columbia today. Undefeated, 16-0, taking on one of the premier prep schools in the country, and they're gonna be led by Colby Mcgee. We mentioned his name early, a Drexel commit. He'll be number 0. No Jeremiah Membry today. He's also a D1 committed to Florida State University. I talked to the coach pregame. He's injured, did not make the trip down. But I don't think it'll take away any of the luster of this game between these two teams.
It's going to be a spectacular game tonight. This evening. Well, this afternoon, right? Because we're so used to doing games around 7:30 at night. But this is a midday game between two good ball clubs. And again, I'm very excited to see what's going to happen between these two teams.
Again, we'd like to thank our sponsors for tonight's game before we get things tipped off here today, this Saturday afternoon. Integrity First Home Buyers, S3 Performance Training, Prestige Motor Cars of York, Parma Pizza of Dallastown, and Dean's Auto Plaza, all sponsors for Saturday afternoon's game, dude.
Yeah, and if anybody's interested in being a sponsor, you can have a company or you can just be a local sponsor and want to support teams that's around the county. That's Lancaster, that's York, and that's also Harrisburg. Please contact us on the Sports Shooting Stars Facebook page, or we have our phone number there is listed as well at our lower third. You can check that out. We're always looking for sponsors, volunteers, and people that want to be a part of the program. Really appreciate everybody that's a part of what we do.
No doubt about it. Some other players to keep an eye on for executive education. We mentioned Colby Mcgee, smooth, athletic, can play any position. Also keep an eye on Jaheel Sheck, lightning fast guard, all-around player, number 3 for the Raptors of Allentown.
And just to tell the fans a little bit of difference between a regular high school and a charter school. Charter schools are pretty much privately owned, I believe, and they also can recruit and get guys from different areas to play for their ball club. And that's what you're going to see here tonight with executive education.
And you can hear some of the crowd here in Columbia already as both teams huddle here along the sidelines.
And there's Colby Mcgee, as we mentioned earlier, the Drexel recruit.
Number 3, senior Jaheel Sheck.
Another all-around player to keep an eye on, dude.
Number 11, junior Mustafa Samal. Number 13, freshman Gabe Hornberger. The head coach for the Raptors is Ray Robles. The starting varsity lineup for the Crimson Tide. Number 1, senior Kerry Glover.
And that's the 1,000-point scorer right there, Kerry Glover, number 1 for Columbia High School.
Number 3, senior Robert Footman. Number 5,
There you have it, the playing of our national anthem, and we are moments away from tip-off here, Dew, at Columbia High School, across the river from York in Lancaster County here. And
yeah, nice little drive, about 20, 25-minute drive. I mean, it was a frosty day to start off in the morning, but we are here. We're glad that Executive Education came down and had a safe trip to here. I know it's about 2.5, 3 hours away, so we're glad you're here and, you know, took a safe trip down to York.
Yeah. Glad they
Columbia. We're in Columbia. You're right.
Lancaster County. Glad they could make it, and we're glad you can tune in tonight, this afternoon, to Sports Shooting Stars as we bring the game to you. And it's looking as if Mustafa Sano, I mean, he looks every bit close to, what do you think, close to 7 feet tall.
Oh yes, for sure. He has
mid-court.
He has a height advantage with the tip-off, at least by 5 to 6 inches.
Braylon Miller.
I want to tell the fans this is a small gym, so we're at a different, advantage as far as filming, but we're going to make it work.
And we're off here, opening quarter from Columbia High School. We thank you for tuning in. Dew Jones, Todd Edwards, the Raptors, Executive Education in their blue jerseys, moving right to left in the TV
working the
screen.
offense, and you got to almost assume.
There's Colby Mcgee, shot off a little bit, rebounded by Braylon Miller.
And Toby McGee is picking up full court. Columbia High School, quick shot, short, rebound by Loss, nice kick out.
Oh, swatted away by Sano, some defense. It's a run and gun style offense we're seeing so far.
Yeah, some shots being put up. And there's Columbia again back on the floor. And Coach Glover called a timeout.
Smart move by Columbia head coach Glover right now, with 7:21 to go in a scoreless game right now, Dew. So far, your thoughts?
Yeah, and that timeout that Coach Glover took just now, there's a couple timeouts they had in the first half, but he took that because he wants to control the momentum of, letting the Executive Education get out to a fast start. If his guys are willing to dive on the ground for the ball, then he's willing to take that timeout to reset some things and get his guys ready.
Yep.
And always, when you play against a team like this, a charter school, D1 commits, you come out a little jittery. You have a little bit more going on, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
in a game, but these guys are going to settle in. And right now, Columbia has the ball, inbounding out to Robert Footman, Kerry Glover Jr. Kick out, and that's a shot. Short.
Gabe Hornberger for Executive Education with a rebound, bringing the ball up court now.
And you almost have to imagine.
Jaleel Shank.
You almost have to imagine that Executive Education likes to bring the ball down low. They have some bigger guys, so they have to, they like to get the ball in the paint, as you can see.
There's Jaleel Shank for the first points of the game. Belong to the Raptors. With just under 7 minutes to go here, the opening quarter, Sports Shooting Stars.
Nice drive.
Oh, and a drive and a hard.
He's on the floor.
On the floor, ball out of bounds. Remains Columbia's possession here.
And there's been a little on that rim so far for Columbia in his first minute and a half of the game.
Kerry Glover
Coach
with the ball.
Glover guarded by number 0 of Executive Education.
That's Colby Mcgee, the D1 commit to Drexel. He'll be a Drexel Dragon next year.
And you got to almost imagine that that's the scouting report, to go at each other.
And there he is, Colby Mcgee bringing the ball up court behind the back there. A three-point shot by Shank and drains it. Big time shot there by Jaleel Shank. Another player to keep an eye on for the Raptors.
And Executive Education, they know how to travel. They don't have many fans here, but their bench is so loud.
And there's a big
shot.
three.
The bench is so loud, you would think they had fans in the visitor section.
Braylon Miller with a three.
And that's exactly what Columbia High School needed, that three to settle things down. And there's McGee guard against Colby.
You can hear the crowd here.
It's loud.
No doubt about it.
It's incredibly loud here.
It's a small, intimate gym here, old school style gym.
And keep an eye on McGee and Glover matched up against each other throughout this game. They have the scouting report on each other, and they know that's the guy you have to keep on both sides of the ball. And that's a steal.
And a steal there picked his pocket on that play. That was Juan Colazo.
And that's exactly what you want.
Yeah, and he's going to go to the charity stripe here.
That's exactly what you want in the game. You want to make things very hard for McGee. And right now he has 2 turnovers. That's great defense from the guards of Columbia High School. The Crimson Tide.
The Crimson Tide, and we're not talking Alabama. We're talking Columbia, Pennsylvania High School. Juan Colazo at the charity stripe here, averaging 14 points per game coming into today's game.
And as we said before, Colazo's a part of that 3-headed monster for Columbia. Puts up a lot of production and points for their ball club.
2
and
for
that's
2
a tie. It's a tie game.
Things up. We're knotted up here, 5-5. Columbia, want to emphasize, come into this game with a 16-0 record in Lancaster, Lebanon.
And that's a travel call.
And a travel called on Colby Mcgee.
And that's 3 turnovers so far for McGee. He's not starting off to a really hot start, but he's one of those guys. It's a 4-quarter game, so you got to keep your eye on him throughout the game. He's going to give you what you need as far as production and points and defense.
And there's McGee with a rebound. He's going to bring the ball up court. Matched up against Kerry Glover.
Kerry Glover's putting a lot of pressure on him. And I said that Columbia has to play a physical game. And so far, you have seen that for Columbia. A very physical game for them.
Well, dude, let's emphasize this. You don't start out 16-0 and not be a good team.
Short.
There's Sano under the net, fighting for the rebound.
And there you go, Kerry Glover Jr. again with his hands on the ball. He's been really controlling and being really aggressive so far in this game and being physical, and that's what you need to win the game.
Mustafa Sano, I saw his parents pre-game in the lobby. They made the trip down from the Allentown area to see their son.
That's a nice drive, short, rebound, Columbia. And Columbia pushes the ball down the court. Colazo couldn't get anything going with that play there.
No, he did not. It was the effort was made unsuccessful for the Crimson Tide. Raptors possession, working the ball around the court.
And there they are in the post.
Here, tied up 5-5. Robert Footman bringing the ball up. The quarterback, former quarterback here for the Columbia, now on the hardwood floor. Talked to the coach pre-game. Footman getting some offers for football. Millersville.
Very solid football player.
Yep.
And he can play basketball as well. Short right there. McGee with the rebound. Gives it up to his guard.
There's a cut to McGee. Shot comes up short off the rebound.
Rebound by Footman.
Footman gets the ball out to Kerry Glover as he drives to the net.
It's getting very scrappy out there.
Yeah, it is. Colby Mcgee stepped out of bounds. Will be Crimson Tide possession.
And I like the pace. I like the tempo so far for both ball clubs.
I mean, this is fast-paced, running gun style offense exhibited by both teams do. And a nice crowd has settled in here this Saturday afternoon, and we thank you for tuning in to Sports Shooting Stars. And I'm being told right now for executive education number 13, Gabe Hornberger, a freshman out there playing. Maybe in the place for injured Jeremiah Memory, who did not make the trip for the Raptors.
And that's a foul. And I think Colazo's doing a great job of getting in the paint and initiate that contact so he can get to the free throw line. He's been to the free throw line now, I believe, twice. And they're calling that play on the floor.
On the floor.
And Coach Glover wanted Rob Footman Jr. to knock down that three once he gets open. Doesn't want him to think about it. Wants him to hit the open shots, shoot on the catch and shoot type of plays. Here's the pick and roll going on.
Nice move by Kerry Glover and his first points.
And Kerry Glover made it look easy.
And you can see why he's a 1,000-point scorer with plays like that, too.
And also an All-American nominee. Can't forget to add that in there.
Jalil Shank to the net. In and out of the rim.
And there's Columbia
and there's
on the break.
Robert Footman with the ball, bringing it up court. Glover with the ball.
Short, tough move. And McGee right now has around 4 rebounds to start the game.
Timeout called by head coach Ray Barbosa of Executive Education. And you wonder, for the Raptors, have they been in a gym like this with the noise and playing a team such as Columbia, who comes into this game again undefeated with a 16-0 mark in Lancaster, Lebanon? Absolutely.
I believe they have traveled and been areas like this before, but they haven't played against a team like Columbia, being in this type of gym, right now. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they respond. But for Columbia High School, I think they're doing a great job. They're banging on the boards. They're getting to the paint. They're shooting when they want to be, shooting when they're open, and also being aggressive. And I think that's going to be key for them to win the game here tonight. And Kerry Glover Jr., he's having a good game so far, and really controlling the pace on the offense and defensive side.
And you can see the Executive Education just down below us a little bit. They have that look on their face a little frustrated right now. I'm not sure if they were expecting this from the Columbia Tide, but they have come to play here. And
as you can see, number 0 right there, Colby Mcgee inbounding the ball.
To the freshman, we mentioned Gabe Hornberger. We'll keep an eye on Gabe tonight.
And there's that physicality I just said from Columbia.
The kick out, a 3-point attempt, and drains it. That's Rylan Muniz for a 3-point shot and a 1-point lead for the Raptors, 8-7 over the Crimson Tide.
And Collazo, he wastes no time getting the ball to the rim. Very effective when driving the ball. Great defense from Kerry Glover Jr. Made it real tough for
a steal.
McGee.
A nice move by Rylan Muniz. Gives Muniz 5 points and a 3-point lead for the Raptors over the Crimson Tide, 10-7 with just over a minute to go,
And right now, number 1, little miscommunication going on.
From Collazo to Glover, it will be Raptors possession.
And right now for Executive Education, number 1,
Rylan Muniz, he comes in with 5 points right now.
Absolutely, he's that spark so far that Executive Education needed. They have a deep bench, so expect him to go deep in this game. As Executive Education up by 3 points right now. Columbia's doing a great job of not letting Colby Mcgee get involved into the game plan.
The feed down low on the post to Sano. The kick out and a turnover will be Columbia's ball with 39 seconds to go,
And unofficially, Executive Education has 6 turnovers so far in this first quarter.
Unofficial, yeah, but.
And they're picking up full court. Collazo with the ball, going left.
And a put in. DeJuan Giles.
And that's a nice dish off.
His first points tonight for Columbia. And Columbia just down by 1,
I don't know if the fans can hear, but it's incredibly loud in here tonight.
Jalil Shank with the ball. Number 55, Isaiah Brantley in for the Raptors.
And looks like Executive wants to go down in the post, doesn't see anything. Good defense from Kerry Glover Jr. And with him being a 1,000-point scorer, you sometimes forget about the defensive side and what he brings to the table. Right now, he's picking up any guy for Executive Education and giving them a lot of pressure and making it really tough for them to score any points.
1.6 seconds remain. Robert Footman swatted away there by Jalil Shank. And we've arrived at the end of the first quarter with your score. Executive Education 10, Columbia 9. Do your thoughts on the opening quarter?
I think the opening quarter was a great opening quarter. The guys on both ball clubs got, went at each other really fast in a really fast motion. and it's been back and forth the whole time. So it's been really good for me so far, Todd.
Oh, and at moments, I want to remind the fans that are tuned in, watching from the comfort of their own home. Sometimes it's getting so loud in here, I can't even hear you.
Absolutely.
And more important, I can't hear myself think from time to time. And a great atmosphere and a great invite to be part of it here at Columbia. I know a few weeks ago they had the Battle of the Bridge between Columbia and Eastern, which separates them only by a couple miles. So it's a great venue, even for fans that are maybe tuned in the greater York area that maybe want to come over here and check out Columbia. Again, come into this game with a 16-0 mark and some key players to watch.
Yeah, and since we've been at this gym, you got to kind of expect that one of the reasons that Columbia is undefeated is their home crowd. When teams come in here, it's very hard to play when you have a crowd that's backing their team as well as Columbia does. And I think that's an X factor that Columbia brings to the table.
True home court advantage here for the Crimson Tide of Columbia. And we're in a battle here. 10-9, the Raptors over the Crimson Tide. We're seconds away from the start of the second quarter, and we're underway. Columbia with the possession in their white jerseys, moving left to right. A three-point shot off the rim.
Short.
By DeJon Giles in for Columbia. And bringing the ball up court, Isaiah Brantley for the Raptors, number 55. A nice cut and a big dunk there by Colby Mcgee.
And it's a high-time flyer.
And that may have been a statement dunk there, dude, by Colby Mcgee.
And that's what he needed to get into the game, to get himself motivated. So far, he's been locked up by this Columbia High School team. And he gets the shooter's touch.
Collazo with a bucket. 4 points for Juan Collazo. Columbia down by one, 12-11, with just over 7 minutes to go here in the second quarter. You're watching Sports Shooting Stars.
And I remember talking to Coach Glover. He said he believes he has the best backcourt in the state with Robert Footman and Kerry Glover Jr. And that's on display here tonight. They're playing some really good basketball for their ball club. And there's Colby Mcgee. Quick first step, spin move, tough shot, which I believe was blocked.
Up short there for Colby Mcgee. Footman. Out to Colby Mcgee, and there's Isaiah Brantley to the net, and the easy put in for Isaiah Brantley, his first point.
And you don't want to make this into a track meet. You want to, slow down the pace a little bit. It looks like Executive Education likes to run and gun and get the ball to Colby Mcgee where he's most effective at. You want to slow it down a little bit.
I'm standing here watching this game unfold, and I would just wonder what this team would look like with Jeremiah Bembry, a Florida State commit.
Yes.
It doesn't seem as if there's much drop-off with this team from Allentown. Going to send Jordan Poole to the free throw line here with 6:13 to go. Rylan Muniz going to take a breather. In his place will be Gabe Hornberger, number 13, the freshman for Executive Education.
Short on that, rebound by number 11. So Colby Mcgee pushes the ball up the court. Gets the ball to his point guard. And Executive Education sets up their offense. Low scoring affair so far in this game, Todd, but I think that's a good thing. They're going to go back and forth a lot. And they know they have to deny number 0, Colby Mcgee, but they want to get the ball in the post.
Well,
and that's a travel.
To number 11, Mustafa Sano.
Mustafa Sano, you can tell he's a little bit raw. He's a 7-foot big man. He needs to get down his footing a little bit better, but he's a little bit raw, but he's a big asset to the Executive Education team.
The Raptors up by 2, 14-12 over the Crimson Tide. Kerry Glover drives to the net and just loses possession of that ball.
And that's that quick crossover that Kerry Glover Jr. has. Once he did the crossover, he got Mcgee on his back and got straight to the rim. That's been a matchup so far in this game. Kerry Glover Jr. versus Colby Mcgee. And there's an offensive foul called against number 4 for Columbia.
That would be DeJon Giles, who has 2 points.
Giles just came into the game about a minute ago. Just being physical in the paint, got called with an offensive foul. That's what you got to be in this game to win, especially against a team that has more height and a little bit more hype than you maybe coming into this game.
There's Jaleel Shank to the net and the easy put in. 7 points for Shank. The kick out to Colby Mcgee, bringing the ball up court. 2-on-2. Nice spin move, and what a move by Colby Mcgee.
And Colby Mcgee can go either way.
Can that make the highlight reel, though?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Colby Mcgee can go either way. He loves the spin move. As you can notice, he'll spin move every chance he gets, because he can finish left or right.
A 6-point lead right now for the
and they got to get, Columbia has to get the ball in the hands of Kerry Glover Jr. right now. That's very imperative.
He's their playmaker, 1,000-point scorer.
Best ball handler, best all-around player on that team. The team is very good, but you want to get the ball in his hands in this situation. Being down by 6 points, which is the biggest lead so far in this game.
Some substitutions taking place right now for Columbia. Juan Collazo in, Kerry Glover, Breland Miller. You have Jordan Poole. And Aiden Miller, a 3-point shot and drains it. Juan Collazo.
Collazo has a lot of confidence shooting the ball. A lot of energy for the team for Columbia High School.
Hey, pulls Columbia within 3 right now. Juan Collazo with 7 points.
And that's exactly what they needed. That's very key in a big-time shot. And there's another 3 in the corner.
To Brantley and drains it.
And he responds with a 3-pointer of his own.
You talk about a track meet, dude. And a big bucket there.
Tough shot. Good rebound. Good rebound for number 25 for Columbia.
Oh,
and that's another steal.
And a put in by Juan Collazo.
And we said that again. Collazo brings that energy to the gym. You can see it. He's like the Energizer Bunny, man. Doesn't have any fatigue.
It has the potential to blow the roof off of this gymnasium, dude.
And this is one of those games where a guy like Collazo goes up for a dunk and really charges the team up. That's a 5-second. He's backcourt. A backcourt call.
A backcourt call. Of course, head coach Ray Barbosa was calling for a timeout, much to the dismay of the head coach for executive education.
And again, Colby Mcgee, number 0 for executive education. Highly talented Division I player, but so far in this game, he has around 5 or 6 turnovers in the first half. And there's a foul called on Colby.
Here we go, 3:34 to go. The Raptors,
and I believe that's 2 fouls on Colby Mcgee in the first half.
Something to keep an eye on as this game progresses. Sano swats it away, all 7 feet tall.
And Sano is doing exactly what he's supposed to do. A guy comes into the paint, he contests it and gets his hand on the ball. Great job on the defensive side for Sano, number 11 for executive education. It is now a 2-point game.
Colby Mcgee matched up Kerry Glover.
And Kerry Glover can make something happen here. He's looking for the pick and roll.
Yes. Glover for a 3-point attempt, comes up short. And up.
Not the best shot, but Columbia retains the possession.
And a foul. A foul on Mustafa Sano.
Offensive foul.
An off.
And even though executive education out of Allentown is about 3 hours away, they do have fans that showed up here tonight.
And we are hearing it. How about it this afternoon, Du?
Very faithful fans that travel to see their team and support their team. I really appreciate that.
A big commitment, considering the weather we had earlier from last night into today. We're thankful we can bring the game to you. It's going to send Aiden Miller to the free throw line here for Columbia. He has 2 points.
And they thought that was going to be a shooting foul, but it's actually on the floor.
Oh, now it's going to be on the floor. Yep, stand corrected there. 3:12 to go here in the second quarter.
Kerry Glover Jr. for 3.
And
knocks it down and gives Columbia their first lead of the game. 22-21.
Gives Columbia the lead with that three-point shot.
Very impressed so far from what I see for Columbia High School. Not
No
shocked,
doubt.
not scared.
No,
and they're ready to play.
They have come to play. Here, Shank, the shot. It's going to send Jaleel Shank, who has 7 points, to the free throw line with 2:57 to go.
And the fans can
And
really
the
affect your
students
free throw shooting. They scream and you can hear it. I mean, it's like right in your ear because it's such a small gym.
Some of the viewers at home may have to turn their volume down because of the noise level inside this gymnasium.
Well, we may even be yelling as well because we can't really hear ourselves because it's so loud in here tonight. But we appreciate you guys tuning in and staying with us at Sports Shooting Stars as we film this live game at Columbia High School.
And makes it. Shank, 8 points and ties things up.
Game is knotted up 22-22. Robert Footman with the ball, junior.
Footman drives to the net.
Gets in tight. Kick out.
And a steal by Shank and some contact there with Kerry Glover and a race for the ball.
And there was a lot of contact right there. That's another foul on Chanel, number 11 for executive education, and he's their big man. He has 2 to 3 fouls so far. We don't have the official record, but that's sending Columbia to shoot a 1-and-1.
And he's going to take a breather right now, Mustafa Sano.
And fans probably didn't see, but there was a collision that went on between Gabe Glover Jr. and one of the players from executive education.
And Jaleel Shank.
And
he was holding his ankle.
He's holding his ankle, and he was grimacing as he got up off the floor.
And he's looking to stretch that out now in the backcourt.
He's a tough guard, plays physical, so he should be able to finish this game out. Rebound from executive education. Number 3 pushes up the court.
Jaleel Shank. To the freshman Hornberger. Just over 2 minutes to go here for Columbia High School in Columbia, Pennsylvania.
And right now, executive education is running small, and that fits to Columbia's advantage because they're a little bit faster, I believe, when they run against this lineup. And they're really doing a great job on the perimeter defense. Nice spin move.
Nice spin move and a put in by Ryland Muniz. That's 7 points for Ryland today. Robert Footman. A big time three.
Big time three. And again, Columbia
unofficially 11 points for Juan Colazo new. And a put in by Shank.
That's a nice move from Shank. He's a very confident point guard for the Executive Education Ball Club.
Yep. Shank hits double digits with 10.
And right now, Columbia is content with just sitting with their offense and getting a clean shot. And it's there.
What a bucket there by Juan Colazo. 14 points due for Juan Colazo.
Plays with a lot of energy, plays with a lot of confidence. I love to see stuff like that coming from student athletes. His family in attendance tonight. And again, the perimeter defense from Columbia High School has been top notch, really making it tough for any team to get really in the paint or take anybody off the dribble. Shank with the ball, the best ball handler.
There to Colby Mcgee down low on the post
and that should have been, and that's called a foul, but that's against Robert Footman Jr.
Footman was trying to steal
but that should have been a jump ball. McGee didn't know that Robert Footman was there when he did his spin move. Don't know if I can agree with that call 100%, but the ref saw it otherwise.
Columbia with the 2-point lead, 28-26, 42 seconds to go here in the second quarter.
Spin move. And it looks like Executive Education is content with holding the ball for the last second shot.
A
And
reach
that was
in
a
there
foul.
by, Kerry Glover.
That's a foul against Kerry Glover Jr.
His second foul.
27 seconds to go in the first half, and Kerry Glover Jr. comes out, and number 10 comes into the game.
Jordan Poole for Columbia. There's a give to Colby Mcgee.
Fans wanted a 5-second call, wasn't
He
called.
Get it. Ties things up. Colby Mcgee with 6 points.
Quick bucket from Colby Mcgee. About 15 seconds to go in the game. Collazo, short.
Hornberger with a rebound. Timeout called by head coach Ray Barbosa of Executive Education. 9 seconds to go. And what a game it's been so far here in Columbia. 28-28. The leading scorer for Executive Education, Jaleel Shank with 10 points.
Yeah.
And Rylan Muniz has 7, followed by Colby Mcgee, who has 6 points. For Columbia, Juan Collazo unofficially has 14 points, 5 points for Kerry Glover. And it's been everything we've expected here tonight on a matinee special. A matinee special here. Sports Shooting Stars. I'd like to thank our sponsors for today's game. Integrity First Home Buyers, S3 Performance Training, Prestige Motor Cars of York, Parma Pizza of Dallastown, and Dean's Auto Plaza, all sponsors of today's matinee special here with Sports Shooting Stars. 9 seconds to go here before halftime. We're knotted up 28-28.
9 seconds to go in this first half. Key for Columbia is not let them score and get a quick bucket going into halftime.
Rylan Muniz for the Raptors, bringing the ball up court. And the easy put in by Colby Mcgee. And what a way to end it. And we've arrived at halftime with your score, Executive Education 30, Columbia 28. As Executive Education's making their way back to the locker room, as are Columbia. We've arrived at halftime. It'll be a 10-minute break. And your thoughts so far in the first half?
First half was exciting, electrifying, a really good game to start off so far. Both teams won back-to-back. It's only a 30-point game. It's only a 2-point game. Expecting a lot more action in the second half.
No doubt about it. It's been at moments it's been like a track meet, and we will give some of the leading scores for Columbia. Unofficially, Juan Collazo, 14 points. I mentioned Kerry Glover with 5 points. For Executive Education, Jaleel Shank, 10 points. Colby Mcgee, the D1 Drexel commit, has 8 points, and Rylan Muniz has 7 points. And there's your point totals as leading scorers for Executive Education, who come in here from the greater Allentown area. And it's been an exciting game so far. And, of course, Columbia comes in with an undefeated record at 16-0. The Executive Education team, the Raptors, come in here with a 7-4 mark. And these teams, it's been a great game as advertised, too.
Yeah, it's been a great game. Like I said, Columbia came in here, looking like an undefeated team. They're not scared at all. They're not shook. Big shout out to Coach Kerry Glover. He's always preparing his team to be ready to play in these type of environments, and so far they've been doing a great job. And it's a physical game. I think Columbia's right where they need to be at. They're not no slouch. It's not no they didn't come out here and get down by 10 points. Actually, they were down by 6 points, which is the biggest lead so far in the game, and they battled back and took over the lead. And just at the end of the game, Colby Mcgee. Really good player, Division I, going to Drexel. And I believe Columbia's doing a great job of locking him up. He's finding little gaps and little creases in between their defense and getting his points. Guys are, forgetting about him. He's getting his points down low. But for the most part, they're doing a great job of maintaining Mcgee and not letting him, bust out and get, the big-time points that he normally gets. He did have a slam jam, in the beginning of the first quarter. But since then, it's been pretty much quiet. And shout out to Columbia. And as I always say, when you go into halftime, it's all about adjustments, or it's all about doing more of what's working. So I'm just really interested to see how well Coach Glover figures out, what's working and what they can stop. And I think it's McGee. You just can't forget where he's at on the court. And every now and again, they forget where he's at on the court.
And another player, Jaleel Shank, who came into this game, with 10 points, leads all scorers for the Raptor. Another player to keep an eye on. And Mustafa Sano, the big man, who ran into some foul trouble earlier in the game.
Absolutely. And also Giles. I'm sorry, Jaleel Shank. I'm sorry, you already said Jaleel Shank. Yeah,
yes.
I'm sorry, you said Jaleel Shank. Yeah, crafty point guard, likes to have the ball in his hand, tough player, and he's really the engine for the executive education ball club.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting second half. We remind our fans, do not go anywhere. Maybe you can stretch your legs out. Maybe you need a bottle of water, or in this case today, a hot cup of coffee or hot chocolate.
It's frigid out there today.
As you're tuned in the comfort of your own home, we thank you for tuning into Sports Shooting Stars, as we'll take a brief break and we'll be back with more action. But I do want to remind our fans that, of course, we appreciate the student athletes, the fans for tuning in, and also our sponsors. And we'd like to give a shout out to our sponsors for today's game. This matinee special: Integrity First Home Buyers, S3 Performance Training, Prestige Motor Cars of York, Parma Pizza of Dallastown, and Dean's Auto Plaza, all sponsors of today's game between Columbia and Executive Education, a big charter prep school out of the Allentown area, and we're glad we could be part of it.
Yeah, I actually went to the Executive Education Charter School over this probably about like 2 months ago. The school is immaculate. It's a huge school in Allentown, first class facilities. They have a lot going on up there, so it's very cool to see him, the actual team play down here in Columbia.
Yes, and right in our backyard, and we're glad we could bring the game to you. We're going to take a brief break ourselves, stretch our legs out, and rest our vocal cords, and we'll be back with more action here momentarily with Sports Shooting Stars.
Yep, we'll be back in a few minutes. I just want to tell the fans to go ahead and go to our live chat. Go ahead and engage. Let us know who you believe, is making some moves in the game, who could be probably the player of the game. I know it's going back and forth right now, but we'll be back in a few minutes to talk more basketball.
Okay, we're back, sports fans. It's Todd Edwards. We have executive education out here. We're moments away from tip-off here for the second half of the game. Columbia making their way out of the locker room. And talking to some fan of Mustafa Sano and also his brother Lamine Sano play. It's two brothers, the Sano brothers. One's listed at 6'10", the other one's 6'11". I got that from his father, who made the trek down here. Took him about an hour 30, hour 45 minutes, and I'll tell you, just interesting tidbits we pick up here during our halftime.
The crowd always likes to engage with us, and we really appreciate that. We try to give both teams, recognition and more exposure off our platform. So we always like when the fans and even parents, come over and want to talk to us and give us some tidbits.
And Jaleel Shank's parents are off to the right of us as well.
Yes, sir.
And
we'll send them the game link before we get out of here so they can have it.
I know we have a fan base in the York, Lancaster area. We would like to say hello to the Allentown area. If you're tuned in, thank you for tuning in this Saturday afternoon. And we're seconds away here from the start of the third quarter. Colby Mcgee will be the inbound passer. He's the Drexel commit, the Drexel Dragon, and gives it to the freshman, Gabe Hornberger, number 13 for the Raptors. And the Raptors will be moving left to right now in the second half of the game. There's Jaleel Shank, 10 points in the game. Columbia down by 2. There's a give to Colby Mcgee, and the and one do.
And that's a nice move from Mcgee.
Colby Mcgee now
gives him the and one
here. 10 points now. He's hit double digits along with Jaleel Shank.
I also want to correct that. That's Javon Collazo that plays for the Columbia High School team.
Sometimes I may need bifocals. I can't read my notes properly. My apologies. Javon Collazo, the leading point scorer unofficially here with 14 points. Columbia's first possession to kick things off here in the third quarter.
Robert Footman with the ball. Javon Collazo, the leading scorer so far for Columbia with 14 points. And
Javon Collazo, and there's a three-point shot.
That's a nice rebound that he lost.
There's Jaleel Shank bringing the ball up court for the Raptors in a spin move.
Open three.
Hornberger for 3, and a big 3 there by the freshman.
And right now, Executive Education has their biggest lead of the game, which is 7 points. They came out in this third quarter very fired up, and you can tell that the game plan they have is starting to work.
Kerry Glover matches it.
And Kerry Glover said, not on my watch.
Yeah.
He returns with a big-time 3 right in the face of Colby Mcgee.
Colby Mcgee, unofficially 8 points for Kerry Glover, the 1,000-point scorer for Columbia.
And that's a travel call against the freshman,
Gabe Hornberger. And I can't help but think, again, I mentioned it earlier in our broadcast, where would this team be with Jeremiah Bembry, the Florida State commit? I mean, this team, as advertised, without him, looks like a great team. Be interesting to see him on the court.
Yeah, he brings a little bit of everything to the table. And Kerry Glover Jr. just knocked down that other 3. I wonder if he's going to get another shot up. I like to see guys shoot in rhythm. After you knock one down, go to shoot again.
A 4-point lead right now for the Raptors.
He's looking for it. Pull up.
Oh, and just a turnover there. Pass intended to Aiden Miller.
And that play there was not as bad. It was a good pass, but I like to see Kerry Glover Jr. pull up at the elbow and knock down that jump shot, especially if he just hit a big-time 3.
Jaleel Shank bringing the ball up court to give to Colby Mcgee, number 0. A main event matchup this Saturday afternoon,
I can't lie, Todd. I love that name, Colby.
Yeah.
And that's good defense.
And a steal there. Javon Collazo. The give to Robert Footman, who goes to the net. Now he's going to go to the charity line with 5:37 to go. Executive Education with a 4-point lead, 35-31 over Columbia. Sends Robert Footman to the charity line. Still looking for his first points in the game. The quarterback, who's getting some D2 looks from around the state, makes his first of 2 shots here to pull Columbia within 3. Two for 2 from the charity line for Robert Freeman.
And no
Jaleel
matter
Shank.
what executive education does, Columbia High School does a great job of battling back. They're not giving up anything in this game.
The kick out to Gabe Hornberger, and another 3. Gabe Hornberger making a name for himself in this game.
And he's been knocking down that open 3 in the corner.
And the bucket there for Aiden Miller gives Aiden Miller 4 points.
Tip right to Aiden Miller.
Jaleel Shank, the kick out.
Another 3, short.
There's Colby Mcgee.
And Colby Mcgee is like that cleanup man. He's doing everything he needs to do in the paint to give his team and give him that cushion, which they're up right now by 5 points, 40-35.
Robert Footman for 3 off the backboard, and there's Sano with a rebound.
It's almost impossible to get a rebound over Chanel.
Yeah, it really, it's 6'11", dude. And a put in by
That's a
Jaleel
soft
Shank.
move. And I'm expecting Coach Glover to maybe call a timeout sometime soon, because you don't want things to get out of control. 7-point lead, which ties their biggest lead of the game so far.
12 points for Jaleel Shank, 12 points for Colby Mcgee. Go ahead, Duke.
Right now, Hove gets to the elbow, his shot, a little strong.
There's Sano with another rebound.
Sano with another rebound. And that's why they have that 6'11" big man out there to get those boards. If executive scores here, I expect a timeout. Nice crossover. Short, great rebound. Way to crash.
There's Gabe Hornberger. Gets his own rebound. In and out of the bucket. Kerry Glover bringing the ball up court for Chris.
Right now, Columbia needs something going for themselves. Kick out, good drive. Footman, short.
And there's Sano with another rebound, making his presence felt.
That's 3 rebounds in a row for Sano.
Shank with a put in. 14 points for Jaleel Shank. And a timeout called by Coach Glover, dude.
And right now, the energy is definitely on the side of executive education.
You can feel it, you can see it, and right now they have a commanding lead right now. Their biggest lead of the game with 3:21 to go. Executive Education 44, Columbia 35.
Now, I might be mistaken, Todd, but the Snow brothers, are they twins?
No, one's a freshman, one's a junior, according to his father.
They look exactly alike.
They do, and yeah, just amazing talent. And again, want to emphasize to the fans at home that may be wondering, what's a charter prep school? You mentioned it earlier, dude, but sometimes they have the leverage of kind of hand-picking various talent from just not the county, but from across the country.
From across the country. They're privately owned, and they can pretty much do what they want as far as their education and also who they pick on their football, basketball, baseball, lacrosse teams.
Yeah.
They can pretty much, recruit.
And we saw that a couple years ago with Central when they played St. Joseph Prep out of Philadelphia.
Prep football team.
In the state final at Hershey Park Stadium.
The St. Joseph Prep is a powerhouse in football for the state of Pennsylvania. And right now, it's going to be very key to see what Columbia does.
There's Kerry Glover, drives to the net.
And that's great.
And a foul. Foul called on Gabe Hornberger, his third.
And that was a great play from Kerry Glover Jr. He knew he really wasn't in a good position to make the shot, but he had a double move that extended the play and gave him that foul. And gave him the foul so he can go to the free throw line, stop the clock, and get two free points pretty much from the charity line.
From the charity line right now, unofficially, Kerry Glover with 9 points, looking to hit double digits here potentially with his second free throw. With 3:04 to go, and he drains it.
Also want to mention, Kerry Glover Jr. is a 1,000-point scorer for Columbia High School and an All-American nominee.
Here's Jaleel Shank bringing the ball up court for executive education.
And there's a lot of razzle-dazzle going on.
And a travel called.
From Jaleel Shank, he has that ball in the string, but there was a travel call.
Travel, yep.
Couldn't execute the play the way he wanted, but that was still a nice move.
Great.
And Columbia battling back.
Columbia maintains possession here with 2:39 to go. Executive Education 44, Columbia 37.
And we got to tell the fans that's just tuning in, this has been a tight game throughout the whole game. This is the biggest lead right now.
A lot of energy, too, as well inside this gymnasium, too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hesitation, spin move, kick out to Javon Colazzo. He's been pretty quiet so far in his second half. Colazzo started the first half with
the
good pass.
easy feed, and what a bucket there
Good pass.
by Braylon Miller.
Colazzo has 14 points to lead all scores for Columbia High School. That was a great dime.
The kick out to Gabe Hornberger off the rim.
And Hornberger had that shot at least.
Right underneath to Colby Mcgee. And a scramble
And they're
for
on
the
the floor.
ball.
They're on the floor, and that's going to be a jump ball.
Yeah, a jump ball called, and you can feel the emotion level rising here, Dew.
Columbia High School is very fortunate that number 13 for executive education.
Gabe Hornberger.
He's not knocking down that three in the corner. He shot that three at least 6 times so far in this game, and he made only 2.
Yeah, he's the freshman for executive education.
There's something going on when he's getting open in the corner, and they need to lock that down so that doesn't happen.
Kerry Glover bringing the ball up court.
Columbia High School's showing a lot of grit, a lot of confidence
Yes.
as they're going into this game. They're not letting the moment get too big for them. That's a nice shot. Nice
There's
pass.
Kerry Glover to the net,
that's
and
an
and
and
one, Dew.
Man, that's big man play right there. Kerry Glover Jr. is only about 5'10", 5'11", but he got the ball in the paint, pump fake, got the guy off his feet, and still made the shot.
Kerry plays a lot bigger than 5'11", Dew, and right now he's at the charity line. Unofficially, 12 points for Kerry with 1:39 to go. In and out of the bucket. A 3-point lead now for executive education. Colby Mcgee bringing the ball up court.
And it's been a great game so far, Todd. I mean, this is one of those games that, it's like a state championship game, to be honest with you.
A heavyweight matchup.
And that's
in
a travel
boxing,
call.
Or as you said, a finals at the Giants Center. We have it here at Columbia.
Absolutely.
Tremendous energy. A lot of athleticism from both teams, and what a game, Dew.
And if some of the fans never been to Columbia High School, I suggest you come, because this atmosphere is top-notch, top tier.
It is.
And it's really like a basketball platform that we love to film games at.
Exactly. A short trip from the York County area across the river, and
nice
highly
hesitation for
recommended.
Robert Footman Jr., the all-state quarterback, number 3 for Columbia. Nice move. Short.
There's Colby Mcgee with a rebound and a
that's
scramble
getting
for the
scrappy.
ball.
And that's another jump ball.
Between Colby Mcgee and number 25, Aiden Miller. Things getting a little chippy out there, Dew.
It is. And that's what you need, that scrappiness and the physicality to play in a game like this, because this team comes in highly rated with a lot of clout, and they can just take over. But Columbia has to respond, and they have been so far. They're not letting executive education get a big lead on them.
And fans can hear the energy inside the gymnasium.
And that's their star, Colby Mcgee, with the ball.
There's Gabe Hornberger in trouble over there. And
that's good defense.
Jordan Poole, a nice break on the ball there, out of bounds. Executive education will maintain possession. 39 seconds to go. A 3-point lead for executive education.
And I got to give a lot of credit to Columbia High School's defense. They go chest to chest. They don't let you get the ball and do what you want to do. They guard up. Colby Mcgee with the ball, passes out. And that's another travel call.
On Gabe Hornberger.
And that's the second travel call against number 13.
Yep.
For executive education. He's talking to the referee a little bit, trying to figure out what is he seeing versus what he's actually doing.
Under 30 seconds to go, sports fans.
And it's been a
Ali Frazier matchup, huh?
Absolutely, Ali Frazier matchup.
Pardon
David and Goliath a little bit.
Yes, there you go. There's Kerry Glover, swatted away by Sano.
And that's a charge call, which is a little unusual to see because Kerry Jr. didn't actually run into him.
Gabe Hornberger checking out in his replacement. Isaiah Brantley comes into the game.
And as you can see, Columbia picking up pretty much full court. Jaleel Shank.
10 seconds and counting here from Columbia High School. The kick out to Brantley. Sano underneath and a put in by Mustafa Sano, and that gives him 4 points as the end of the third quarter have arrived with your score, Executive Education 46, Columbia 41. And what a way to end it if you're a Raptors fan.
And Columbia so far has done a great job of keeping Sano from scoring points. He's a big guy, 6'11". That's only his second point of the game. Well, 4 points. I'm sorry.
He's gotten a lot of rebounds, got into some foul trouble earlier on, but you can see that presence under the net, too.
And we also got to say he has a younger brother who's a freshman. Listed at 6'10".
Lamine Sano as a freshman as well. So the two brothers here for Executive Education.
I expect to see a lot of them throughout, especially next year when his freshman brother gets a chance to get some more playing time.
Be a sophomore, and he'll be a senior next year for the Raptors. And again, they're based out of Allentown, traveling down here this Saturday. Less than ideal travel conditions this morning, but we're glad they made the trip. We're glad you're tuned in to Sports Shooting Stars. I'd like to thank our sponsors for today's Saturday afternoon game: Integrity First Home Buyers, S3 Performance Training, Prestige Motor Cars of York, Parma Pizza of Dallastown, and Dean's Auto Plaza, all sponsors for today's Saturday afternoon game between Executive Education and Columbia. And we are just moments away from the start of the fourth and final quarter, and I want to remind the fans that are tuned in, never too early to start thinking about Player of the Game awards, as we'll award our Player of the Game post-game.
Yeah, it's been an action-packed game.
Oh, it's been
one of the games I love. I'm really glad that they had a chance to play this game today and it wasn't postponed.
Well, this game initially was postponed from December, remember, Du?
Yes, sir.
Rescheduled today, and glad we can bring the game to our fans all around the world. And a travel called again on Jaleel Shank.
That's a travel call, and they could have won either way. They're both going after the ball.
They were, yep.
They believe Shank had the ball. He had possession. That's why the travel call was against him. Very intense basketball game, physical.
Oh, intense on the court and even in the stands. I mean, the fans are really into this game, Du. A big shot
and that's
there.
A three from Robert Footman Jr.
By Robert. Gives Footman 5 points for Columbia. And
another travel call.
Travel call.
And that gives a lot of credit to the defense of Columbia. They are guarding straight up. They're not letting the guys get the ball and start, doing a little shake and bake. They're guarding chest to chest throughout this whole game.
Well, clearly, if you haven't picked it up yet, this official crew is calling that.
Oh, yeah, they're calling those travel calls.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And there's a big
three. And Columbia takes the lead. Columbia takes the lead in the fourth quarter, up by 1 point. Ice in his veins, number 4 for Columbia, knocks it down.
Yeah, DeJon Giles.
DeJon Giles.
Who has now 5 points.
DeJon Giles is guarded against Sano. Sano has about a 5 to 6 inch height advantage, so it's very interesting to see what's going to happen.
And Shank and the and one.
And that's a quick foul. And that's going to send
Jaleel Shank, who has 16 points, to the charity stripe.
Going to the line. The crafty point guard for Executive Education, number 3.
Seven minutes remain here in the fourth quarter. A 1 point lead right now for the Raptors over the Crimson Tide.
Short.
Get it out of the bucket for Shank.
And this is anybody's ball game. It's going down to the wire.
It's going to come down to that final shot, dude. You can sense it. You can feel it.
So many games we played and it came down to this. So many games we filmed when it came down to this, I meant to say. Jaleel Shank with the ball. Brings up past half court. And right now,
Drives to the net, and a bucket for Jaleel Shank.
Jaleel Shank is taking over. And right
8.
now, you'll like to see Kerry
8.
Glover Jr. check back into the game. He's not in the game right now for Columbia High School. Nice job from Javon Calazio. I can't
And
see.
his 4th foul called on number 11, Mustafa Sano. So in a little bit of foul trouble here, Du. 4th foul.
Yeah, Sano's that shot blocker. Anybody gets into the paint, he's looking to block the shot. That's his goal. That's his role for the team, and he's going to go for it every time. So guys like that sometimes end up having 3 to 4 fouls per game because they're so aggressive on the defensive side when guys get to the bucket.
And Javon Calazzo now at the charity stripe, looking to add to his point total. 14 points unofficially. Make it 15.
And it gets the shooter's roll. Nice shot from Javon Calazio. And again, Kerry Glover Jr. is not in the game right now. The 1,000-point score for Columbia High School. I was expect him to be in the game around the 6-minute mark and to kind of keep the pace and keep the team on his back. Short.
The Raptors' possession, much to the chagrin of the fan base here at Columbia. Not happy with that call.
They did not like that call at all. And this gym is very small, so they're going to let you hear it.
They will, no doubt about it.
And Jaleel Shank right there, the point guard for Executive Education, has done a great job so far in the game. Getting some big-time points and some and ones as well.
And the bucket.
And he just wheeled that ball in for the bucket.
20 points for Jaleel Shank. And a big 3
And that's
there.
a big-time step over 3 for Robin Footman, number 3 for Columbia High School.
Matching buckets here, Du.
He's a basketball player today. Nothing about football.
And I think that may have been the 5th foul
That's
called.
a 5th foul, Sano.
On
He's
Sano,
going to the
he'll
bench.
be fouled out. That 6'11" presence.
And you can see the referee and Coach Barbosa for Executive Education talking about this. And he's gone.
He is gone. It is his 5th foul.
And with 5 minutes and 32 seconds to go in the game, you wonder how this can change in a game like this. And again, I'm gonna let the fans see.
Yeah, well, let them soak it up, fans.
Well, the foul must have been on someone else, Todd. No, it is on Sano. Sano's walking off now.
Sano's coming off in his place. Gabe
walking off.
Hornberger.
That's the 6'11" junior for Executive Education. And he has a brother who's also 6'10", so he's only a freshman, but he could come in and help.
Yes.
And right now, Columbia's in a good position right now with a little less than 6 minutes to go.
A 2-point lead for the Raptors. They're clinging to that lead right now. Crimson Tide possession.
And that's a travel call.
And a travel called on the Crimson Tide. And I would imagine we're going to see more of Gabe Hornberger and Colby Mcgee down in the post.
They got to make sure Hornberger doesn't get that three-point shot in the corner. He shot about 6 of them so far in this game. Only hit 2, but he's still getting those shots up. You don't want to see that, getting deep into this game.
There's Colby Mcgee, the kick out.
And that's not a very smart foul for number 10 for Columbia High School.
Jordan Poole. It's going to send Rylan Muniz to the free throw line, who has 7 points for the Raptors. 5:05 to go. A 1-point lead for the Raptors. 52-51 here at Columbia. We thank you for tuning in to Sports Shooting Stars this Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, Rylan, number
Number one.
For Executive Education. Small guy, but he's very crafty. He came in the first half and had 7 points really quick. Had a 3-pointer and a steal and another layup. So he's one of those guys that, you kind of keep your eyes off him a little bit, but he can hurt you if you do that. And right now, the referee and the scoreboard is discussing how many fouls are on number 10 for Columbia High School.
Which is Jordan Poole.
It's a little delay in the action.
Yes, there is, and not sure if this break helps or hurts the team, but the first shot by Rylan Muniz in and out of the bucket. 5:05 to go in the fourth quarter. It's Sports Shooting Stars. A 2-point lead now for Executive Education. Charter.
And he knocks him down. Gives Executive Education a 3-point lead with 5 minutes and 5 seconds to go in the game. And they got to get that ball past the half-court line. And as you can see, Kerry Glover Jr. is going to check into the game now for ball control and for that leadership and that senior confidence that Columbia definitely needs to finish out this game. Only down by 3. Scrappy play.
Turnover. Oh, and back and forth. I'll tell you what, high-pace energy here, dude.
And this is one of those games where guys are diving on the ground, jumping out of bounds just to get to the ball.
I think we're about ready to jump out of our shoes here in the broadcast booth. It's an exciting game so far. 4:33 to go.
And checking back into the game for Columbia High School is a 1,000-point scorer, Kerry Glover Jr.
Kerry Glover, you're going to want him out in that court. Part of that three-headed monster for Columbia down the stretch here.
And Robert Footman Jr. is guarding Colby Mcgee right now. Colby Mcgee, the Drexel commit, Division I Drexel commit, has a big dunk in this game so far, but been relatively quiet so far.
Yes, he has. 12 points for Colby Mcgee.
That's good defense. The defense for Columbia is top-notch. You know, coming to this game.
Oh, another travel
call. I know coming to this game, Coach Kerry Glover believes that he has the best backcourt in the state of Pennsylvania with Robert Footman and Glover Jr. So it's really interesting to see them be guarded against these two these two guards from Executive Education.
And Columbia is going to be a team you're going to see in the counties, districts, and states, no doubt about it.
Yes.
Rebound by Gabe Hornberger. Colby Mcgee bringing the ball up court.
Right now,
3.5 minutes to go.
Executive Education just running their offense. Jalil with the pass.
Underneath to Colby Mcgee, 14 points.
Got to give Colby Mcgee a lot of credit. He moves great without the ball. Most of his points are in the paint and just getting a pass because he's cutting to the bucket. Great job from Colby Mcgee.
Columbia now with the possession. DeJon Giles drives to the net.
And I like the aggressiveness for Columbia. They're going to the bucket and getting those fouls. I would say the fouls are quite even so far in the game.
Yeah, well, Gabe Hornberger now with his 4th foul. Interesting to keep an eye on that with 3:05 to go and a 5-point lead now for Executive Education, but DeJon Giles sent to the free throw line. You know, something to think about here. If Gabe Hornberger gets fouled out, who's the next big man up for Executive Education?
Not 100% sure if that foul was on Kerry Glover Jr., but he just checked out the game.
And the put in there.
Only reason why I think he would check out the game at this point is because he may be in foul trouble or may have fouled out. I'm not 100% sure, but you definitely want a guy like Kerry Glover Jr. in the game with the last 3 minutes.
Brantley bringing the ball up court and the give to Hornberger and the easy put in.
And Executive
Education.
Education broke that press with ease.
6-point lead now for the Raptors.
And right now, Columbia has to find some offense. They have to find some offense. Where's it going to come from?
There's a 3-point attempt off the rim. Hornberger with a little push there by Gabe Hornberger.
And Hornberger has been very effective so far in the second half.
There's Jaleel Shank. And the bucket for Jaleel Shank.
And that's just a tough shot. That's just a tough shot.
Timeout called by Coach Glover of Columbia, and now an 8-point lead for Executive Education, 60-52 with 2:27 to go, Dew. And I'll tell you, the fans that have come out for Executive Education, they may be much fewer than the Columbia fan base, but they're just as vocal here around our broadcast booth.
Yeah, and I got to give Executive Education a lot of credit. They come into a small gym like this with some big-time players on the other side, and they held their own. You know, they know they come in with a lot of clout. They know they're a charter school, so people expect a lot out of a charter school. And so far, they've been pretty much holding their own against this Columbia High School. Columbia High School still have a lot of time in this game. It's only 8. They're only down by 8 points with around 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go, and they still have a lot of time on the clock. And they have scores on their team, so they can score
no doubt.
at a high clip.
I'd like to thank our sponsors for Saturday afternoon's game: Integrity First Home Buyers, S3 Performance Training, Prestige Motor Cars of York, Parma Pizza of Dallastown, and Dean's Auto Plaza, all sponsors of today's matinee game between Columbia and Executive Education.
And as you can see, Kerry Glover Jr. did not foul out. He's back into the game. He has the ball in his hands right now, and they're looking for some offense to come from the Columbia High School Crimson Tide team.
Javon Collazo with the ball to give to Footman.
Tough shot.
Brantley with the rebound. He's going to bring the ball up court.
And right now, Columbia has to play extremely tough defense to try to get a turnover.
A turnover.
And they got a
there.
turnover. Exactly what they wanted.
Yes, and it's Columbia's possession, 1:58 to go. And a big bucket
Nice
there
bucket,
by
nice
Braylon
bucket.
Miller.
That's a nice steal, and that's what Collazo does. He gets those steals. Didn't get it that time, but got his hands on the ball. And we're looking for a 5-second.
Timeout called by head coach Ray Barbosa of Executive Education with
Great
1:42
call.
to go.
Great call from Coach Barbosa, because that was close to a 5-second, and
He
I
can
believe
sense
Columbia
that.
was sensing there was going to be a turnover or a 5-second call happening.
Dude, let's go through some leading point scores for Executive Education. 22 points, Jaleel Shank. Unofficially, Colby Mcgee has 14 points. Rylan Muniz has 9 points. On Columbia, unofficially, Javon Collazo with 15 points and Kerry Glover Jr. with 12 points for the Crimson Tide. 1:42 to go. Do not go anywhere, sports fans. It's going to be an entertaining and exciting final minute and 42 seconds here for Columbia High School. It's been a great matchup. As you mentioned earlier, dude, we're glad they had the game, and we're glad we could be part of the broadcast. And for our fans that are tuned in, whether you're watching from the greater York, Lancaster area, or if you're up in Allentown and all points in between, we thank you for tuning in this Saturday afternoon. Again, want to give a shout out to our sponsors: Integrity First Home Buyers, S3 Performance Training, Prestige Motor Cars of York, Parma Pizza of Dallastown, and Dean's Auto Plaza, all sponsors of today's Saturday afternoon game between Executive Education and Columbia High School.
And we also tell the fans, go to the live, our YouTube live chat, and help us engage and help us find out who is going to be the player of the game. We do take fan voting for player of the game, or we just elect the player of the game. So go ahead and go to the go to the live feed, and let's see who the player of the game is going to be in this game here.
There's a give to Colby Mcgee. He likes that. And Gabe Hornberger. And now what a shot by Gabe Hornberger.
And that was perfect execution. Perfect execution from Executive
11
Education.
points for the freshman. He's hit double digits. Kerry Glover Jr. for 3. His shot comes up short. Jaleel Shank, and the kick out to Colby Mcgee. He's going to go. Another dunk. A big dunk there by Colby Mcgee. And that may seal the deal here, Dew, for Executive Education.
And they're starting to run away with it a little bit. It's a quick shot from Robert Footman Jr., but knocks down the big-time 3. Quick shot from Robert Footman Jr., but he knocks down the big-time 3. He also hit a big-time 3 in the fourth quarter on a step over 3. So that's a great shot from
Robert Footman Jr. with the 11 points. He hits double digits. Javon Collazo with 15 points. Kerry Glover Jr. 12 points. And what a game. 50.8 seconds to go. Executive Education 65. Columbia High 57. And, dude, this has been everything as advertised
today.
Yeah,
absolutely. Executive Education did a great job. They won on their run towards the last 2 to 3 minutes of a game. This was a 3-4 point affair throughout the whole game, but right now they have an 8-point lead, which ties their highest of the game so far. And they're doing a great job. Like I said, both ball clubs, it's been down to the wire. And, that last play from Executive Education when Hornberger had that three was great execution and, exactly what they needed and gave them that cushion that they needed to, secure the win. Yeah, but the game is not over yet.
No, it's not, dude.
We have 50 seconds. Remember back in the day with Reggie Miller scored around 9 points in like 11 seconds or something like that? So you never know.
It's been done. You're right. I mean, and this is everything we've expected here. Executive Education and Columbia. Columbia comes in here with an undefeated mark at 16-0 out of Lancaster, Lebanon.
And I expect Columbia to foul immediately or try to get a steal within the first 5 to 10 seconds.
There you go.
And that's the steal they was looking for, and they got it.
You got it.
They got it.
Swatted away there by Colby Mcgee.
They were looking for a foul, and they got a jump ball. They got a jump ball
or a foul. One official saying a jump, one saying he was held. Let's see.
Well, that's a little confusing because the referee that was right beside the play called a jump ball. Yeah, the other referee that was in the back court called a foul. So what do they go off of? And they went with the referee that was in the back court. Don't know about that one, Ty, because you want to go with the guy that's closest to the ball.
You would, yes, exactly.
Right now, I believe that Columbia needs a foul.
And a trap set up on Colby Mcgee. He breaks it, the kick out.
And there's a foul, stops the clock with 34 seconds to go.
It's going to send the freshman Gabe Hornberger with unofficially 11 points for the freshman.
And Hornberger has been really effective in the second half. He's getting his points when he needs to. He's getting rebounds when they need them, and he's been very effective so far. Knocking down the free throw. I want to tell the fans as well, the goal is never to have an undefeated season. You want to play well, play against good teams, and make it to the counties, districts, and into the states. This loss does not put a blemish on Columbia High School's record so far. They have one loss, but they have a great season so far, and they're going to keep on going.
And a put in there by Braylon Miller. Executive Education 67, Crimson Tide of Columbia 59, 17.4 seconds to go.
A lot of credit to both coaches, Barbosa for Executive Education. He knew he's coming into a hostile environment. Kept his team poised, especially with this loud crowd, which is pretty much like the sixth man in a place like this.
You mentioned it earlier in the broadcast, too. It's true home court advantage here for the Columbia Crimson Tide. A great atmosphere, a great game, and we thank you for tuning in today, this Saturday afternoon matinee special. And we also like to thank our sponsors for today's game: Integrity First Home Buyers, S3 Performance Training, Prestige Motor Cars of York, Parma Pizza of Dallastown, and Dean's Auto Plaza, all sponsors of today's Saturday afternoon matinee special from Columbia High School. Executive Education and the Crimson Tide of Columbia do. It's been everything as advertised.
Absolutely.
I'm glad we're part of it. Great atmosphere, and maybe someday we'll be back here for another broadcast.
Yeah, wouldn't mind coming back to this environment. This has been a great basketball environment for us. Robert Footman Jr. is called with the quick foul, which stops the clock with 16.1 left to go in the game.
Robert Footman's second foul of the game. It's going to send Jaleel Shank, who leads all scorers unofficially with 22 points to the charity stripe.
And Jaleel Shank, Jaleel Shank and also Colby Mcgee is probably going to be my players of the game so far.
Yeah, 1-2 punch.
They did a great job keeping pace short. Kerry Glover Jr. with the bucket.
Kerry Glover, unofficially with 14 points. And I'll tell you what, Gabe Hornberger coming in here as a freshman, great composure.
Great composure.
4 fouls. 13 points. It's going to send him back to the charity line here. A 6-point lead for executive education.
Yeah, and executive education, they may think that, have an 8-point lead, like, hey, the game is over, but that's not the way Columbia High School's playing. This game was put on their schedule so they can play all the way down to the whistle, and that's what they've been doing so far, because I know Coach Glover, his goal is to win counties, go to the districts, and, win in the state. So this is a great test for the Columbia High School Ball Club.
This is the type of team and competition they're going to see it at the district level and state level.
And this is the last 5 seconds of the game. And there it is.
And that's it. There you have it, sports fans. Your final score, Executive Education 69, Columbia High School 61. And what a game. And I hate to be redundant in saying it, but glad we were part of this game.
Absolutely, absolutely. Great game.
A great game, and for executive education, leading scorer unofficially Jaleel Shank with 22 points. Colby Mcgee with 16 points unofficially, might I add, and Gabe Hornberger, the freshman, with 15 points. What an effort by these players.
And we will have a post-game interview right after the game with the coach and our players of the game, which is Jaleel Shank and also Colby
Todd
Mcgee.
Edwards back here,
Mcgee.
kind of chasing down head coach Ray Barbosa of executive education. I mentioned to him that we were going to talk to two players of the game, kind of co-players of the game. They went back to the locker room area to address his team, but it'd be hard-pressed not to go with Colby Mcgee and Jaleel Shank.
Absolutely. I'd love to get a chance to talk to those two guys. Like I said, the whole team did a great job of, securing this win and playing as a team, but there's always one or two players that we want to highlight. We have, we give away merchandise every game. We give away a player of the game shirt. We do a quick interview. We let the student athlete give a shout out to whoever he wants to talk to or whoever's watching the game. We want to thank everybody that's watching this afternoon.
Our area and all points in between up to the Allentown area. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast as much as we did. A great game and a main event matchup, as you mentioned, Dew. To me, it paralleled a heavyweight battle, and it did not disappoint today.
Absolutely, and like I said, I'm very happy that Coach Glover for Columbia High School put a game like this on the schedule. This is see teams from out of town and do what they do, and like I said, the charter school out of Allentown, executive education, is a very good program, and like I said, they're missing one of the star players.
Yeah, you just wonder again. I hate to say be redundant, too, but Jeremiah Bembry, a Florida State commit. What would this team look like with him on the court? All 6'6" of him.
It'd have been a great matchup. It'd have been a lot more points, maybe some more dunks as well.
Maybe some more. Two by Colby Mcgee, the Division I commit.
Big time high flyer.
As the fans exit the gym here at Columbia High School. I want to also say we saw earlier pregame Gary Sutton, the head coach of the 1987 Boys State Championship team here, came up to me pregame, and give a shout out to Gary, who's a fellow broadcaster as well, and coming back to his roots of sorts here in Columbia as the boys were the state champions in 1987. And that banner's hanging up here inside this venerable gymnasium.
Yeah, Gary Sutton's been around for a lot of years. A lot of people know him. He's a staple pretty much in York and Adams County. We really appreciate every time we see him. Like, he recognizes us as well. So, we're making our way, through the ranks as well. And we get recognized by legends like that. So we really appreciate that.
I teased him pregame, I said, you need to be our mentor.
There it is.
You know what I mean? We're in year 5, but he's been doing this a little bit longer, and we appreciate his support.
Absolutely. Want to tell the fans, just stick around for about 5 more minutes. We're going to do a quick interview with the player of the game, give away some merchandise so they can...
Yeah, we're going to make our way down to mid-court. your son RB, I'm not sure where he went. Did he leave the venue?
Okay, yeah, he actually had to leave. He went to a game up in Sierra Canyon. He went to go watch Sierra Canyon high school team in Reading.
In Reading, okay.
Yeah, they're playing against the #1 player in the country. His name is mistaking me right
Williams?
now. Not Mikey Williams.
Mikey Williams? Okay.
It might be Mikey Williams. I'm not for sure, but
Sierra Canyon, yes.
So much going on with these kids nowadays. So he left around fourth quarter, but really appreciate him helping us out as he always does when he has a chance.
A big game here and a big broadcast, and we thank you for tuning in. Again, the final score, Executive Education 69, Columbia 61. It will move Executive Education to 8-4. Columbia picks up their first loss of the year. They'll move to 16-1. And you mentioned earlier, something to think about when you're an AD at a school such as Columbia. You can easily schedule a cupcake to maybe as a non-conference game. Give credit to Columbia for scheduling this main event team, Executive Education, to come in here. And what a matchup it was here tonight.
Yeah, like I said, Columbia is really putting a lot of teams in Pennsylvania on the map. A lot of teams on notice. They went undefeated in this section the past 2 years. They're undefeated so far up until this game, and they lost the district title last year. Right now, they're currently ranked first place in the district power rankings. They average 73 points a game and only giving up 46. So what they did tonight really showed a lot of people that, they can play with pretty much any team in the state. They did a great job with the defense. They picked up pretty much chest to chest, full court, and that's the type of basketball that gets you to the next level.
No doubt about it. It was a fun broadcast, and we hope you enjoyed the game as much as we enjoyed the broadcast.
Telling fans to stick around as we will have a post-game interview with two of the players of the game, and that's Colby Mcgee and also Jaleel Shank. Colby, you'll probably be watching him next year playing for Drexel University, Division I out of Philadelphia.
No doubt about it. Yeah, we'll gonna make my way down to midcourt. My broadcast partner, Dude Jones, will be making his way down to the midcourt. We're going to talk to players of the game here, as most of the fans have filed out of this venerable gymnasium here in Columbia. My broadcast partner, Dude Jones, Todd Edwards, I'd like to thank you for tuning in, and we'd like to thank our sponsors for today's game. S3 Performance Training, Integrity First Home Buyers, Dean's Auto Plaza, Prestige Motor Cars of York, and Parma Pizza of Dallastown, all sponsors of today's game. And I see head coach Ray Barbosa's talking to some of the local media. We're going to get the players to come out here rather shortly as well, and some of the executive education parents are still awaiting the team to come out of the locker room. My broadcast partner, Dude Jones, has joined me from the booth to midcourt here, where just moments ago there was a lot of excitement on this court here.
Yeah, it was action-packed. They were diving on the floor. They were going back and forth. Very contested game. Executive Education did a great job in the fourth quarter with, going on a run and using their bigs to get some points. But Columbia High School, very impressive. That's a team we definitely will put back on the schedule sometime this year as we flex games in and out as we go towards the end of the school year. End of the school year.
I would think if another prep school, charter school, such as Executive Education makes their way into our area, you may want to pick that game up. How about it, do? It's a treat.
Absolutely.
And we're seeing some of the players making their way out of the locker room area.
And they got a trip. They're going about 2 to 3 hours up the road. So, they're going to have a nice trip going back up there. Probably banged up a little bit because Columbia was being very physical tonight. But that's what you need against teams like this.
I'm looking for the players of the game here. I think Colby Mcgee is over here. Colby, come on over here. Yeah, join us. Yeah, and Jaleel Shank as well. Congratulations, bud. It was a pleasure seeing you. Not one, but two dunks.
Good job,
unofficially, you come in, finished with 16 points. Your thoughts on today's game against Columbia?
It was a great matchup. I like that team. They played hard. We played a little harder. We was a little gritty in the first half. We didn't play to the best of our potential, but we ended up, winning down the stretch.
No doubt about it. And this guy standing neck unofficially with 22 points, Jaleel Shank. Your thoughts on today's game against Columbia?
It was a good game. Actually had a great atmosphere. They came out with a lot of energy. We just, matched it, tried to exceed it. Being on the road, we're kind of up here alone with just our guys. So We just had to play together and play well.
And I noticed your parents were here as well. They were cheering you on. A lot of support. Have you played in a gymnasium like this? This is a smaller gym. The acoustics in here are pretty loud. Have you been in an environment like this before?
Yeah, I like this gym, even though the floors were like a little slippery because people were dragging the salt in. But it was a good court, good atmosphere. I like to play a lot of like crowded games like that. I like to feed off the energy. You know?
Yeah, no doubt. How about you, Julia? Your thoughts?
What was the question?
In here, in this gym, in an intimate setting like this, have you played in a gym like this?
Well, actually, we did last year in a state game, but we didn't win. But it's okay. We came here, you know, kind of same environment, same like setup. We just came here and got the job done.
With a big win, too.
Yeah, real quick, guys. Like I said, I know you guys got a long trip to go back up to Allentown, but during halftime, what was some of the things that your coach said to you? It was a very close game at halftime. And what's some of the things that coach said to you to finish the game out?
Just come out, keep the energy up, keep executing, and just take care of the ball.
Yeah, no doubt. That's always going to give you a win. And, Colby, you did a great job, man. I was telling the fans that were watching, you do a great job moving without the ball. A lot of players, you know, they're looking to get the ball to make something happen. You do a great job moving without the ball. And, Jill, you did a great job handling the ball and just being strong in the paint. And today, they voted for you to be a player of the game. And we give these shirts out to the best players that, you know, in the county or in the state that we play against. So if we're live on TV right now. You can just show that up real quick.
Anything you like to say to maybe the fans back home in the Allentown area?
We're watching tonight.
You know, we brought the dub home. You know, we're happy to come back, and we just clinched a win for playoffs.
What's up, bro?
No doubt. Julia, anything you like to say to the fans watching and maybe friends at home?
Well, same thing as Kobe. It's a lot of love for everybody watching. You know, we're gonna come home, get the job done on Tuesday, and we're just gonna keep it rolling.
Hey, if you guys don't mind, we'll take a quick picture and post it to our page. You put the shirt up for you, man. It could have been either one of you guys, man, but we're going to give it to you tonight.
Colby Mcgee, a Drexel Dragon, but he has some unfinished business first here with Executive. Your thoughts on Drexel, next year? I know you still have a season to play here on the high school level, but what went into selecting Drexel, Colby?
Drexel was, you know, I didn't really have to think too hard on it. They showed the most love. You know, I came down for 2 visits, actually. I was instant visits. I had another offer from St. Francis, and they really didn't show a lot of love to me, you know, so it was just really like I didn't have to think too hard. It was a consensus, you know.
No, so as far as thinking, it's a great school academically and their basketball program as well, and we wish you the best of luck the rest of the way.
Yeah, great job, guys, man. It was good seeing you guys today, man. Good job, man.
Hey, good job,
See you later, man.
Yes.
Congratulations. Keep going. We'll watch you in Drexel.
Yep. Colby Mcgee, Jaleel Shank, our players of the game, and what a game it is. It's great to see it here in midcourt, and great to be part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I had an opportunity to watch these guys today. You know, executive education, they played well, did a great job. They handled their business when they came into this hostile environment, and you know, we're just lucky that we had an opportunity to film it. Want to also thank the sponsors here tonight: Integrity First Home Buyers, S3 Performance Training, Dean's Auto Plaza, Prestige Motor Cars of York, and also Parman's Pizza. And if anybody else wants to be a sponsor in our games coming forward, please reach out to us. We'll love to have you guys, you know, a part of our program.
Yes, love to be part of it. And we'll be back, next week,
Next week.
With our final week of regular season action coming up rather quickly.
Yeah.
So follow us on Instagram and Facebook, Sports Shooting Stars, Todd Edwards, Dude Jones, midcourt here from the venerable facility here at Columbia High School Gym.
Yeah, check us out online, Sports Shooting Stars on Facebook, Instagram.
Well,
there you go. Okay. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You know, all the social medias, and you know, like I said, we got more games coming up. We might add a couple games on there, and also the county championships are coming up, the girls and the boys. We will be filming both of those games, so it should be a really good matchup, and we're just excited. We got 2 more games coming up that we didn't post on our schedule, so keep an eye out for that.
No doubt about it. Stay tuned to Sports Shooting Stars as we bring the game to you. Todd Edwards, Dude Jones. Have yourself a great Saturday afternoon and weekend, and we'll be back next week with more Sports Shooting Stars.
Thanks a lot.